Hello there. Hello Facebook. Hello Instagram. How are you today? I am so excited to just be live here with you and to provide you value, because right now is the time where I personally think I can help most, and we can help each other. We can create that awareness, raise the vibrations on this planet, and really improve ourselves and improve the planet. Hi Anu, how are you doing? So I designed a schedule. As you know, I'll be going live every other day and really addressing one of the topics that are burning right now, and this is all in line with the retreat, the three-part retreat that Gedre and I are putting together at the end of this month. But today is not about that. Today is about how to handle the fear of the unknown. Obviously, the uncertainty that we have right now in the world is completely unprecedented. There's been how long are we in this pandemic? We really don't know what's going on. How long is this going to be? And the biggest question mark right now is really the fear of the unknown, because we don't know. There's an element of we really don't know what's going to happen. Hi Kate, how are you doing? Right, so the fear of the unknown. So fear, we know it's a basic element, it's a basic emotion that is actually, serving us in very good circumstances. Basic survival depends on fear. Fearing an open fire, or fearing, a high building, being on the edge of high building, it certainly saves our lives. But in a situation like the pandemic today, the fear of the unknown makes you do nothing in your life. Because the biggest problem with fear is what? Is the physical anxiety that it creates in your body. That's one. And through that response, as a result, what happens in your life is complete paralysis. We very much know that fear will just stop you in your tracks, stop you from doing anything, and it can last for years and years and years if unaddressed. As a result of that, obviously, we potentially might end up in a place of regret, in a place of not being able to redress the situation, continuous shame, continuous guilt. Obviously, it's not a fun place to be at all. Hi Alava, how are you doing? But this is easily discussed and it's easier said than done. So you'd ask Leo, okay, you're talking about fear. How can I stop fearing the unknown? First of all, fear is something natural to us. It's a natural feeling. And fear of the unknown as well, it's in psychology is known as xenophobia, right? There's a term for it, and it's well funded. It's nothing that is foreign to us. But when we deconstruct fear, what fear actually is? Fear is the anticipation of a threat or a so perceived threat. And the difference between the two is very important. Threat and so perceived threat. An open fire, a tall building, being on the edge of a tall building, it's a real threat. Being alone, ending up alone, ending up not loved or not surrounded by people, this is a so perceived threat. Or giving a speech in front of people, or having uncertainty about whether you will have means to survive into the future. Yes, it's a real deal, but it's not a real threat per se. So the first step to really untangle the fear of the unknown is to really understand what exactly you are fearing. What is it that what element in that future? Because there are many, it's foggy. As long as it stays really, really foggy, it's very, very difficult to identify and to start to unpeel that tangled fear-based feeling, right? So first of all, we'll try to understand what is in that fear, what is in that future, what is that threat that I'm so anticipating, I'm so fearful about, right? So this is the first step. And the way you do that is like, okay, Leo, I'm already so fearful. And when I think about the future, I'm already so anxious. How do you want me to really sit with my fear and really feel even more anxious? Well, that's exactly what I'm inviting you to do. Kai Camber, that's exactly what I'm inviting you to do. Sit with the fear, invite it for a tea. pour it a cup of tea, and ask your fear, hey fear, what is it that you are about? What element in that future that is so terrifying for you that makes you make me fear, right? See what I did there? I separated myself from the fear. I literally took my own feeling and I placed it outside of me as its own entity. So in the process of understanding what your fear is about, the first thing that I did, I separated myself from fear. I am no longer the fearful person. It's me and the fear. So the first step, separate yourself from the fear. Because you are not a fearful person. Inherently, you never have been a fearful person. You just had a fearful feeling. So once you are able to distract, to really break away from that fear, take it outside of yourself, put it in front of you, it will be easier to understand what is it that you are fearing. So once you have the fear in front of you, you're having tea with your fear, try to listen, allow it to talk. Don't try to evade or run away from that feeling. Because the biggest trouble with fear is that what we're doing, we're trying to shut it off, to avoid. We don't touch it. We don't touch it. Let me give you an example. I'm talking about fear of death. It's a huge fear. I still am very, very fearful. I fear death. But lately I started looking into it, trying to understand what is it that is so scary and terrifying for myself about my own death, that maybe if I understand a bit more, if I educate myself a little bit more, it can be alleviated. Or at least it can be not as terrible and scary as I feel it right now. So step one, understand what you're fearing, what event you fear in the future. Step two, separate yourself from fear. Step three, become clear on what is it that you're fearing by allowing the fear to talk. Step four, become curious. The best replacement, the best beginning of untangling fear is to become curious. Once you understand what future events you feel fearful about, let's say the unknown, the uncertainty, will I have my job, will I lose my job, what does this mean? Become curious about it. Why is this making me so anxious? What exactly am I afraid about? How can this be not a big problem? How can I get more prepared for that possible outcome that might be coming along? Because when we shut down fear, when we run away so much from it, what happens? We never get the chance to understand what we're fearing, and we never get the chance to prepare for it, right? And I'll take again my example, the fear of death. If I never think about it, if I just shut off my ears, whatever, what happens is I never get to prepare for it. So the problem with avoiding fear, with shutting off, with putting it in the closet and not allowing it in your body, not allowing it, when you don't allow yourself to feel it, you don't get yourself the chance to prepare for whatever is coming. So those are the steps that will help you uncover what the fear is about and how to release the fear. And once you've done that, in order to course correct, what do I mean by course correct? Right now, if you are living today, right now in this moment with fear in your heart, the future that you have is very predictable. Because in this moment right now, if you are with fear, what happens? Most likely you are not taking the actions that you're supposed to take, that a courageous person will take. You are not feeling empowered, you are not feeling visionary, you don't have the same vision as if you were strong and empowered. So from the present moment, you with fear, you take little action, you have little results. You take little actions, you take little results. And the future will be accordingly, will be probably not such a bright future. But when you course correct in this, so the only time that you can course correct is right now, in this very moment. Only in this moment can you ever correct. I cannot course correct in the future or in the past. The past moment is gone, the future, I don't know what's coming. So by course correcting, what I mean is literally turning the dial and saying, hey, there is 50-50% chance that the future might be bad or the future might be good, because is what is the unknown. So let me reframe what unknown means. The unknown, yes, it might be the most terrifying thing in the world, but the unknown at the same time is the most amazing thing in the world, because most terrible things might happen, but also most amazing things might happen. Is this place of amazing opportunities at the same time. So when we reframe the unknown and say, hey, like if we fear the unknown, most probably you have the assumption that this unknown is going to be terrible. Period, point blank. The only reason you fear the unknown is because you've assumed that the only scenario is going to be the worst, most terrible scenario. How is this fair? As Mark Twain said, I lived through my life through so many terrible things that never happened. Our mind is not designed, our minds are not designed to make us happy. Our minds are designed to keep us in fear, to keep us safe. And that is a evolutionary development, evolutionary, let's say, trait that the brain has. The brain could not care less that you're happy or not. The main job is to keep you safe. So if you will let the brain do what is designed to do, I guarantee you, your future, your unknown would always look terrible and horrible, because that's how the brain wants you to think. Because if you keep safe, you are in the comfort zone, nothing will disturb you, everything will be known, and you will be alive. Will you be happy? That's a different question. So when you understand this mechanism, when you understand that you're not really wired per se for happiness, that happiness or prosperity or abundance is kind of your job, then you don't expect it to be automatically within you. Then you accept the fact that you need to do a little bit of work in order to course correct and allow yourself to see not only the negative side, but also the positive side. And the main thing is, what is it that you're doing right now? Why is so important for us to know this knowledge, to understand it, to embody it? Because depending on that, the result will be, what is it that you're going to do right now in this particular moment? What is it that you're doing right now? Are you stuck and paralyzed in fear? Or are you saying, right, there is 50% chance that the future is going to be terrible, but also 50% chance that the future is going to be great? It is 50-50 at all times. The question is, what serves me in this moment right now? What serves me to pay attention to? If I pay attention to the fact that the future is going to be bleak and negative, what is it that I'm doing right now? I'm freezing in fear. I'm not taking action. I'm keeping myself small. I don't allow myself to dream. But when I look at this situation and I say, right, I'm going to look at the other 50. Yes, it is possible that 50% is going to be terrible, but then there is another 50% is possible that is going to be great. And when I choose to put my focus in the 50% when the future can actually be great, what is it that I'm doing in this moment right now? I'm taking action. I have more energy. I'm becoming curious about the unknown. I have the courage to sit with my fear and to ask my fear, what is it that you're all about? What fear, what is it that you're fearing in the future? What is it that is so terrible that once I understand it, maybe I can actually start preparing for it. So the fear of the unknown, once you choose to sit with your fear, once you choose to understand that you're not wired for happiness and you need to do a little work in order to feel happy or to feel positive, once you release the assumption that the unknown is by default terrible, all of a sudden more options and opportunities are opening up, because that's what's happening. The fear keeps you where you are right now because you feel like you have no options, right? You feel like whoever is watching right now, when is it that you feel fear? When you feel that you are stuck. You have, and I hear this time and time and time again, Leo, I feel stuck. I feel stuck in a situation that I have no control, I don't know what to do, and I have no other options. Did you ever feel like that? I personally did. 100% I did. I had situations where I felt completely stuck. But when I realized, when I backpedal and I talked to my fear, I realized that I was not really stuck. I just had other options that I didn't really particularly like. I did not allow myself to sit with the fear because I was so avoiding the emotion of fear that I never really sat with the fear and allowed it to talk. But once I had the courage to face my fear, to listen to it, right? Me too. Many times I felt stuck and I felt fearful. But when I allowed it to, when I decomposed it, I realized that it's all but in my imagination. And when I said, right, what helped me overcome those terrible moments was right. Yes, fear. Okay, you're here. Yes, I understand you're here. Yes, but I choose to look at the 50% of the unknown or the future that is most probably going to be positive. That made me in turn take positive action. And when I took positive actions, I saw positive results. I took more positive actions. I saw more positive results, and so on and so forth. More positive, more positive, more positive. And guess what happened? I actually created that future. I took the unknown and I transformed it into something that now I can control. How? With my attitude, with what I choose to focus on, and how much effort I put into it. As simple as that. That's why most of the time people can't sleep at all at night. Exactly because the fear creates this terrible response in the body. It's a chemical reaction that just paralyzes you and stops you from being, from doing, and from living your normal life. But that cycle, make no mistake, whatever you are right now, that cycle is 100% possible to break. Not 100, but 1,000%. I don't care what your situation is. And I know you can tell me all of the excuses, and by the way, I believe them all, because every single person's circumstance is real for them. 100%. The fear of losing the job, the fear of losing the loved one, the fear of uncertainty of the future, the fear, all of those things are real things. But I choose to call them excuses because they are potentially, might happen in the future. But if I choose to focus on the other 50% that potentially my future can be bright and shiny, guess what's going to happen? I know that I can control how I show up in this moment. I know that I'll go to bed and I'll have a good night's sleep, and then I will wake up with a lot of energy. When I have a lot of energy, I will take action, I will educate myself, I will prepare myself, and I will course correct into the direction that I want my life to go. So if you are fearing the unknown, number one, let me reassure it for you. It's normal. We are wired to fear the unknown. That's how our brain functions. It's okay. Number two, sit with your fear. Understand what exactly you're fearing. Allow it to talk to you. Feel it. Be it fear of death, fear of whatever that is. No matter what terrible fear you're carrying around all day long, talk to it. Separate it from your body. Put it as a different entity, because stop telling yourself that you are fearful. You are just experience a feeling of fear. As simple as that. And once you do that, amazing things start happening. You actually start understanding your fear, you start taking more action, you start seeing a completely different outlook, and all of a sudden, at some point, you will wake up one day and you'll understand that the unknown is no longer the unknown. Because once you understand what you're fearing, once you start preparing for that event, or accept it, or if there's something unavoidable, you just accept it, guess what? There is no longer unknown. the unknown becomes the known. Because why? Because you've allowed it and you did the work, and now it's the known. And that's how one day you will wake up and there will be zero fear. As simple as that. Curiosity is your, again, fantastic tool to explore what's going on, to explore your situation. And the most important thing is what is it in order to create that future, to make that 50% of positivity possible, is what are you doing in this very moment, right now. Right now, because there's nothing you can do, change in the future, nothing you can do or change in the past. The only thing that's possible, it's right now, this very moment. What is it that you are doing in this particular moment to change that fear of the unknown? Acceptance is the last thing that I will add to the list. Some fears are very real, some threats are unavoidable, and there's nothing we can do about that. So if you analyze the situation and you realize that there is a fear and there's nothing you can influence, nothing you can prepare, nothing you can do about it, the pandemic, who could prepare for that? We just have to accept it. There is no point in resisting that. The longer you resist, the more the fear builds up. There's absolutely no point. Accept it with all your heart. Accept yourself in the situation. Accept the fact that you don't have control and allow it. Instead, awaken your curiosity and allow it to teach you a lesson. Ask yourself, what is it that I can learn from this situation? And it will open up to you, and it will be a potentially the best learning experience you've ever had. So if you are done with fear of the unknown, this is a simple blueprint. And just to finalize, I have a little graph, a simple graph. I'll represent it to you, which is, it's common sense. I did not discover anything here, but just to give you a representation of what it is, okay? So this is the present moment, right? Right, so this is the present moment right now. What is it that you're doing right now? Are you fearing the future? Are you paralyzed? Are you taking action? This is the present, right? And this is the ideal life where we want to go, right? Wouldn't that be simple? This is where I am right now, and this is how I want to go. But what actually happens? That would be the ideal scenario. But what actually happens, this is the present, this is the successful life. But what actually happens, you go from the present and you ruminate again and again and again and again the fear. You go again and it goes circle and round and round and round and builds up and builds up and builds up until you can't sleep at night, until you can't function in the day, until you don't know what's going on in your life, and so on and so forth, right? So this is what's happening here, right? This is what we want to have, and this is what's happening. So how can we break this cycle? How can we just break away and say, no more, I'm ready for the new one? Who's ready for a change? Whoever is watching, just give me an emoji in the comments. Who is ready for a change? Drop me a comments in the emojis, right? Who's ready for a change? Right, so then how is it that we're going to break this? In order to break this, you have to create a new identity. And what I mean by that, who is that amazing? Yes, exactly. Who is that future you that can easily achieve the success? Who is that future you? What is that identity? If the you right now, the you today, cannot break the cycle, right? If you feel powerless, if you feel not worthy, if you feel not good enough, whatever. We all felt it, me included, all of them, right? Create an identity, a version of yourself that can break away from the pattern forever and can easily achieve the success. And that's what we usually do in coaching. I personally, and many coaches, we help people channel their stronger heart, their stronger personality inside, within, create that powerful person, and then they themselves then go and create the success in their life. And the more success you create, the more empowered the present feels. The more empowered the present feels, the more success you create. And this is endless cycle, and we break the cycle of fear. More fear here. So which cycle do you want to be? Do you want to be in the cycle of the fear, or do you want to be in the cycle of success? Where is it that you belong? How much do people in your life deserve you to have? What kind of person do you want to be with your people in your life? Do you want to be on the fear cycle, or do you want to be on success cycle? Unlock the potential. Koval, thank you. Indeed, unlock the potential. This right here, the power of your identity, that's exactly what's going to help you to break the cycle of fear forever. And when I say forever, it doesn't mean you will not have fear. Of course you will. But you will see it as an old friend that you don't really see anymore. You don't really visit anymore. Somebody in your past. Somebody with whom you've made peace with. They've hurt you, they've done good, but you're done with them. Fear will always be there in the background, but it's going to be more of a part of the scenery, like a chair in a room, like a closet, a passive thing, rather than an active thing, blocking from what you're doing in your life. You're not late. You can rewatch this. I'll post this in the feed, so don't worry, you missed nothing. You can rewatch this. It will be available. So this is how you can break out of the pattern of fear. And with coaching, this is exactly what we're doing. I mentioned that we're doing a retreat, a 3-part retreat, the art of reinventing yourself, and that's exactly where we create the person, the future, that powerful you, that powerful identity who can then forever create success, forever and ever create success. And I'm so excited, but I just want you to know that this event is ladies only. It's going to be held here in Dubai over the 9 weeks, 3 retreats, which will be absolutely amazing. So if you're interested in that, you can find the link below. That will be a journey where we shift and shape and help people build up that identity. And for all the gentlemen in the group, if you would like, I'm creating a group coaching offer where we will meet once every 2 weeks for 1.5 hours, and we'll be shifting and creating and building in a group each and every single personality. This is an exclusive offer because I've had so many requests from the gentlemen in the group and from other people who can't join the retreat in person, who want to grow together. So I've decided to put together a online group coaching as well, just to support the community as much as possible. So if you are interested, drop me a private message. If you are interested either in the retreat or in the group coaching, send me a private message and I will keep you updated for when this offer is available. Because guess what? If you ask me, how did I break this cycle? Did I do it alone? No, I didn't. Because it's very hard. You can do it alone, practically. You can do it alone. But it is going to take you a really, really, really long time. With coaching, with guidance, with support, you can create your identity, your powerful identity, and then go on and be strong and create the success and more momentum and more momentum and more success on the success cycle and break through from fear. Because guess what? Guess what? The future is coming anyway. 1, 2, 5, 10 years will happen anyway. The question is, what kind of future would you like to create for yourself? How much will it cost you not to break away from the fear right now where you are in your life? How much will it cost you in 1, 2, 5, 10 years of not taking action today? You can say, well, Leo, you know what, I'm not ready for group coaching, for a retreat, this is out of my comfort zone. I agree. It is out of the comfort zone, and I guarantee it will be out of the comfort zone, because that's the only way transformation happens. Transformation doesn't happen when you're comfortably sitting on your couch. That's not going to happen. Transformation only happens when you are uncomfortable, when you are at the limit of who you are today, and we're ripping apart those limiting beliefs and breaking through to that successful person within you who can rise way higher, more powerful, less fear, more determined, more happy, with more love for themselves and for the world. So I'm super excited, and thank you so much for everyone who's online. I'm always very, very excited for you joining. I'm here to provide you value. If you have any questions, just please drop them right now below. I'll just give you 1 or 2 minutes for any questions that you have on the topic that we just discussed. If you caught us halfway or towards the end, do not worry. I'll be reposting this in the feed, so you'll be able to see this, you'll be able to watch this. Don't worry at all. What if we're trying for success, or to move ahead, and we don't reach? Please advise. Right, it means you definitely need to change the approach, because trying, doing the same thing over and over and over again, most likely will provide you the same results. So what I would advise you to do is, we need to look into it and create a completely different strategy. You have to try something in a different way, 100%. So, because obviously, as they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and expecting a different result. And I don't assume at all that you've been doing the same thing. I'm sure you've tried different things, but to be honest, we need to look into the strategy that you're using, and we need to tweak in that strategy. We need some guidance, some advice, a blueprint in order for you to shift, to course correct. I apologize about that. We need to course correct into a different direction. So this is definitely what you should do, and I'm sure you'll definitely have different results. So if there are any other questions, I'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, if you are interested in the group coaching, the biggest obstacle that lies in our way of making a new identity is inaction and procrastination. 100%, absolutely. But also fear. And the fear will keep you in that place where you're not taking action. 100% has that power. How can we tackle that? How can we tackle fear? As I explained through the video, is there the fear that we need to tackle, or something else? Just if you can add a bit more information of what is it that we need to tackle. And if you're interested, we have the retreat and we have the group coaching. Drop an emoji below. Let me know if this is something that you would like to be part of. The group coaching is going to be every 2 weeks, 90 minutes, online, powerful group together, and we'll work on all these questions that you have. Procrastination and inaction. Yes, procrastination and inaction definitely come from not being clear. Number one, not being clear of what you want to achieve. And number two, you don't have a strong why, most probably. Because when you have a very, very strong why, and what I mean by that, you have that vision, that is it that you want to achieve is so inspiring to you. It's so burning in your heart that you cannot sleep at night. You cannot wait. You're jumping out of the bed to go and do the thing that you need to do in order to achieve that you're working towards. Review your why. Review why you do what you do. It's very, very important to have that burning fire, burning desire in your heart to do and to accomplish what you set your mind to. Review your why. That's my advice to you. And this is something, again, that we can work on in the group coaching, because in the group coaching, the structure will be, you can send your questions before the coaching, and then we specifically dive in case by case by case by case, and we all learn from everybody. By talking to one person, obviously most of the times we can all relate to what that person is saying, and we can apply it to our lives as well. So if this is something that is interesting for you, let me know. But the retreat is still on. It's super exciting. And the first workshop is on April 10. If you have any questions on the workshop or on the, on the retreat or on the group coaching, please drop me a line. I am very open. And thank you so much. We'll see you on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be at 7:30 p.m. See you on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Dubai time, and we'll be talking on an exciting topic as well. I hope you have a nice evening. Thank you so much for joining. Have a lovely evening. Bye.